We're going.
Okay. Hi folks. This is a continuation of my corrugated block maker. If you saw the first episode, you saw that when I bought this, it came with these two things on it to sort of press everything down. But as you can see, they're pretty flimsy. And they get bent every time I try to use it. They bend and I have to use a hammer and try to straighten them out. And I got tired of that pretty quick. So I thought, the hell with that. So I bought one of these. And this is a 6-ton hydraulic jack. Hydraulic press, actually. It's got a 6-ton jack on it. And it works, for what I'm doing, it just works great. And I'll show you what I'm doing with it as soon as I get my gloves on. Now, if you saw my first video, I don't need to go through too much on it. But here's the bin that I'm mixing it in here, and the barrel of the mix. Now, if you can see this mix, can you get in on this side?
Yeah, I'm zoomed in.
See this mix, just where it's soaked up. I haven't mixed it. But down here is a mix where I mixed it with my drill. And this is just a paint mixer that I got from Lowe's. And it does a really good job of mixing it up, kind of making it into the slurry. I don't have any specs on it. Just I make it where I like the looks of it. What I do then.
But you got sawdust in there too, right?
Yeah, there's sawdust. There's one like that bin over there on the bottom of that rack.
Yeah.
That's full of sawdust. It would be full of sawdust off of the planer, mixed with a barrel of this corrugated. So, and this is, once I get it mixed up into this slurry. Now, I don't know if you've noticed, but last time, the water that came out of this was kind of dripping around the edges of my installation here. So I decided I didn't want that to continue. So I have this pan that is actually it's a mortar. It's for mixing mortar. I use it when I'm laying block or laying brick. And I use it to mix the mortar in. It just turned to be the right size now. You can look down there and see that water isn't just running out onto the ground like it was. It's now recycling back into that bucket. And what I'll do, once it gets full, I'll just dump it back in here and just keep using as much as I can. I use the same water over and over and over. And once I get it compacted like it is there, then it fills these up pretty good. And what I do is I sort of press on it and make sure they get down in there. Now eventually, when you see me take these out of here, eventually these pieces that come out, I will have probably a bin of maybe used engine oil out of my truck, or I might even use new oil. But these have a tendency, once I really press on them with this press, they have a tendency to stick a little bit. And you'll see what I'm talking about here in a minute. I'm going to make a press here. and make 4 of these blocks so you can see what I'm actually doing. So I try not to hurry it. I take it easy. I work at this. Oh, I'll probably this summer when it gets really hot, I'll probably work and make, well, maybe a couple of dozen of these a day, maybe 20 or 30 of them. And over a period of time, by the time next fall rolls around and it's time to start making a fire, I should have plenty of these bricks. Once I get it to this point, I put that on there. I just tap it with a hammer just to be sure it gets started. I don't hit it real hard or it'll spike out of my face. But once I get it to this point, I could dump that water off, but I don't need to. I pick it up, put it in this press. Now, I don't have them yet, but I've got 2 half-inch cold roll steel plates ordered. One will be on top of here, and one will be underneath. One is 14 by 12, the other is 14 by 10. I don't have them yet, so I'm going to use a piece of this compost. This is like plastic wood. So what I have to do, it won't quite go in there yet, but that's not a problem. I don't know if you need to get around here to see this jack work.
No, I can see it pretty well from here.
All I'm going to do here is I'm going to move that down a little bit so I get a little more clearance on it. You can see it going down, right?
Yep.
And I can put 12,000 pounds of pressure at 6 tons. Now that I've got that down, I'll put this in there. Now I'll put a steel plate on top of it. Now we'll press it down. Now these pins will go right down against here when it's all the way down. So you can see the water that's squeezing out of it. I don't have it set up yet to capture the water. So right now, that's as far as it's going to go. I just heard it click. That's as far as it's going to go. And what I do is I just leave it set for maybe 5 minutes or so. And just let the water drip out of it. I could take them out right now. As a matter of fact, for this video, I'll go ahead and take them out now. If I wanted to, that comes right back up. If I wanted to, I could set this in there, pull these out, and fill them up a little bit more with a little bit more slurry. But it's not really necessary. In this particular instance, it's not necessary. So I want to do this. I do this just to show you how easy it is to do this. Now this is the part that I was talking about. You can follow me once I get this out of here. If I had this dipped in oil, I think it would come out of there a lot easier, but I'm not sure. Now follow me with this.
I am.
Okay. Then I bring it over here. Now these are 2 blocks that I made. This block I made before I got the drill out here and really mixed that up. And this is one I made after I mixed it up And it's a lot more compact. You can see the difference in the two. And this is how it comes out. That's a nice compact brick.
Yes, it is.
And that's how it comes out. Now again, after I did it and pressed it, if I wanted to, I could go back and make them bigger. But I find no reason to do that. If there was a reason to do it, I'd do it. But since they come out like this, and once in a while there's a little bit left in the corners, and I just, when I put this back in there, I just take that out, throw it right back in the mix. And normally, once I get in operation, I'll dip this in oil and then put it back in like that. But for now, eventually I'll probably have this where I can secure it down and pull these out a little bit easier. They're not hard to get out. They're just, it just takes a little effort to get them to come loose. But that doesn't really matter that much. They come out. Now you can see this one is a little bit loose here on the corner. But I've had a couple of them like that. Now let them dry. And once they dry, see that corner was busted off. Once they dry, they hold together. And that, you know, that just weighs a few ounces. It doesn't weigh much at all. And I took 4 of these when I first made them.
So you made these yesterday, right?
Yeah, I did these yesterday. And they're not quite dry, but they're pretty dry. Now this is stuff that wasn't mixed real well. I didn't mix this with the drill. But here's an example of how it, sometimes it'll break off. Once I mix that and they come out like this, then they don't break off that easy. And once I get these where I've got them coated with oil, I may try to figure out a better way to pull these out of there, but
you know what you might think about doing, Dad? I don't know if it would work, but you know, I use that paste wax all the time, the furniture paste wax. And if you put paste wax on the walls of that right there, when you did that, those might pull out of there a little bit easier.
I'll try different things to make it a little bit easier. I'll try different things, but it could be that I'll just make some sort of a puller.
Yeah,
where I can slip it underneath the edges and just lift up on it.
But once it's once that thing is secured down to where that whole box is not going to move around, it probably would be a little bit more convenient to pull those things out.
Yeah, I'm fairly sure once I start doing it, it'll work out a little bit better.
Now see, that one pulled out pretty easy.
Yeah, this one pulled out pretty easy. I just and they were all under the same pressure, so
maybe letting them sit for a minute or two longer
maybe
causes them to pull out of there easier.
Having to leave them sit for a while.
Yeah.
But that's
pretty slick, Dad.
There's 4 blocks, and if I wasn't talking, it would have been about half the time. So
yeah.
It's
and you say that you burnt one of those the other day, right?
Yeah, I burnt 4 of them the other day, and they burned for over an hour.
Really?
I put them in our wood stove when it was still a little chilly, not like today. I put them in the wood stove. They were completely dry, and they burned for a little over an hour, and they were burning hot.
Yeah.
So,
well, good.
If I filled the stove up with them, put 6 or 8 or 10 of them in there, they might go an hour and a half or 2 hours.
Yeah.
And that just saves throwing all of that cardboard into the landfill.
And it gives us
the main reason I'm doing this is so that we don't have to fill up our landfill with all that cardboard.
Well, and it gives us
Second
another.
reason is because I like to do different things that I haven't done before, and this is working out to be pretty good. I think by the time fall comes around, when it comes time to start building fire in the house again, I'm going to get a couple more of those racks. I'm going to move this whole operation out behind our garage, and it'll be out of sight. But I should be able, by the time fall rolls around, I should have 1,000 of these made, and we'll just see. Once I start burning them, we'll see how long they last. So we'll know about how long 1,000 of them will last. So
Okay.
that's my senior moment for today, and come back when you get a chance, and I'll show you something else.